We are live from Minneapolis, Minnesota at US Bank Stadium for the Super Bowl 52 between the Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans. I am your play-by-play host, Mike Peters. Along with me is David Roy, and we have a wonderful game in store. Two powerful defenses going at it. You see the Seahawks out there in their lime neon green against the red, all red of Houston. Kind of a color rush game going for the Super Bowl. And they're treating their fans to a lot of color in this one. Although the neon green hopefully does not affect any of the colorblind. I know the green and red, I don't know if the lime green is the same effect. So hopefully if you're colorblind out there and you're watching, it's not a big issue. The Texans, are starting with the ball here, and they catch it in the end zone. So they'll start at the 25-yard line. David, quick as we get started here, give us a couple keys to the game for Houston on offense. David is not with us, so we'll have to get back to him in just a second. Incomplete pass there over the middle, as we already saw that Houston is living dangerously, thrown over the middle. They said they were going to come out guns blazing, and they do, and they throw it dangerously over the middle, almost picked off. And we'll go on to play number 2 here, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Deshaun Watson in the shotgun, got Lamar Miller in the backfield, and he runs it up the middle, and it is a gain of 7 on the play, so nice pickup there by Lamar Miller, brings up a 3rd and 3.
Good run there off to the left side. You saw the opening, and on the post route, Deshaun Watson kind of tried to force that one into coverage. Should have made the smart play, either take off and run with it or just throw it away altogether. The crowd here is electric. Drowned you out for a second, almost couldn't hear you. And so, but Houston, a good run there, sets them up 3rd and short, something that they need all game.
Let us know how the audio sounds, if the audio's still drowning me out, or if it sounds good. There's a pass on the flat to C.J. Fedorowicz, and he gets hit hard. Richard Sherman coming through with the big hit there and knocks him out of bounds. But first down, Fedorowicz has been a big part of this offense. He comes into the game with 2 touchdowns in the playoffs. He had one in each of the playoff games, had 9 total receptions, so he is definitely a guy to keep an eye on in this one. So 1st and 10 here for for Houston at their own 39-yard line. First 3rd down conversion is complete. Watson's going to go under center here. Deontay Foreman in the backfield. They're going to hand it off, and he is taken down. Nowhere to go there, and that's going to be a no gain.
The Seattle defense is one of the best at stopping the run, but let's go back to that 3rd down conversion by Watson. Those are the type of smart reads that Deshaun Watson needs to make all game long. Don't force the pass over the middle. Don't necessarily need to take the big play. Just find the open man, deliver it to him, and let him do the work from there. A nice conversion there by Deshaun Watson on the biggest stage of his NFL career.
And I said 9 receptions for Fedorowicz at 7. He had 4 in one game with a touchdown, 3 in the other with a touchdown. So definitely keep an eye on him. Pass out to the outside. Fuller makes a nice grab. He's able to hold on to that one, even though he got the big hit and an 8-yard pickup. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 2 from the 47.
Again, another nice read. Saw Fuller, saw the corner play off a little bit. A very small window. Good job by Deshaun Watson being very precise in there in getting it to him with enough time for Fuller to protect himself from the hit.
3rd and 2, Fedorowicz comes in motion. They're going to fake the handoff. Watson's going to roll out. He doesn't really have anybody open, so he's just going to run, take it himself, and he gets the short pickup up to midfield. And a 1st down. Watson has the legs, the young guy, able to get out of the pocket and make things happen, and he does so there. And Seattle's defense is definitely going to have to keep an eye on him and keep him contained as they go along in this one. So 1st and 10 from midfield, just 3 minutes down here in the first quarter. Houston driving 2 first downs already. They're going to pitch it off to Foreman, tries to go outside. Nice block on the outside, and he's going to pick up 4 or 5, and he'll get wrestled down there, bringing up a 2nd and 6.
And one of the things that Seattle's going to have to do all game long is force Deshaun Watson to stay in the pocket and beat them with his arm. Seattle almost has to prepare for this as though they're trying to prepare and beat Russell Wilson himself. That's exactly what Deshaun Watson brings to the table for this Houston offense. You would think that Seattle would be very well versed in stopping a quarterback like that.
2nd and 6 pistol here for Watson. Going to turn around, hand it off to Miller. Goes up the middle, and he gets almost to a first down before he is wrestled down there by Cliff Averill. And that's going to bring up the third down of this drive. 3rd and 2 for Seattle. Or for Houston, excuse me.
And a good job by Houston to keep themselves in 3rd and manageable situations, something that they really need to do all game long, and that's the best way to beat the Seattle defense. Keep yourself from being put in 3rd and long situations.
Technical little blip there, and we fight through it. 3rd and 2. They're going to turn around, hand it off to Miller, goes up the middle, and he fights forward and gets the first down before he is taken down by Derek Johnson, a former Kansas City Chief, picked up in the offseason. He comes through, makes the play there, but not able to get there in time. And that's first down. Third down conversion on this drive for the Texans.
And Seattle's got to figure out a way to stop Houston on 3rd downs. And that's something that Houston has themselves have struggled with. But 3rd and short, that's become Houston's bread and butter all season.
1st and 10 here. Watson in the shotgun. Miller out to his left. They're bringing the blitz. Miller picks it up. He fires out to the right, and that one is complete as Braxton Miller makes the grab in traffic as they're going after Richard Sherman there. And that's going to bring another first down. Houston's offense looking good early on in this one.
And that's a smart play by Houston offensively. You're having your rookie quarterback attack one of the better corners in the league. It's helping to build Deshaun Watson's confidence and helping to ease him into this type of an atmosphere and against this high caliber of a defense.
6 runs and 4 passes. They go another run there. Deontay Foreman up the middle, nowhere to go. And it's going to be a 1-yard gain. Frank Clark in there on the tackle. So we saw them, they said before the game, we talked about in the pregame, that they were going to go deep. They tried to do it on the first play of the game, but then all of a sudden they've drastically shift their game plan. Now they're going with the short passes and going back to the running game. So maybe they thought better of it after the first play. Almost got picked off. 2nd and 9 here for Watson in the shotgun. He's got plenty of time, good protection. He rolls out anyway. Nobody was open, and he's getting chased down. Nowhere to go, and he is wrestled down and out of bounds. That is Derek Johnson again on the tackle, his 2nd tackle of the game.
And I'm not sure what receiver Derek Johnson was covering. Couldn't quite tell it from this angle. But as soon as Watson started moving, Johnson came up to take away that run. He left his man undefended. Watson can see that, just pop one over the top of Johnson. That's a first down and probably a lot more if he can complete that pass.
Seattle did not like something on defense, and they go and take a timeout to make sure they got the right defense on the field. 3rd and 9 here, 4th down here for Houston. We'll see if they're able to convert it. Watson's going to go with the screen pass. This almost picked off. There it is. There are one of those dangerous passes by Deshaun Watson. He almost gets that one picked off as David Bass is there and just misses the interception. So Houston, after a nice drive down the field, is going to have to settle for the field goal attempt. And that one is through. So Houston's going to get on the board first with 3 points, but kind of a disappointing drive the way that one started.
And on that screen pass, I can't necessarily put that entirely on Deshaun Watson. If you see Bass jump that, obviously you should have thrown it away. But I like the play call even less. To go with a screen there on 3rd and long is a very dangerous play call, at least that type of a screen. A halfback screen I would find a little bit better, but to go to a wide receiver screen in that situation, I don't like that play call myself in a game against this defense where you've got to find a way to get into the end zone.
Definitely going to need to get in the end zone, you would think, to win this one. They get 3 points out of the drive. They did convert 3 third downs, almost had a pick on the 4th third down. And now the lime green Seattle Seahawks are going to go on offense. There's a pancake out on the left side. If somebody just fell down, I thought maybe they got hurt. Run game, nowhere to go. Eddie Lacy gets taken down. As we see J.J. Watt there. That was a very interesting play on the left side of the offense. Somebody just hit the ground. Looked like somebody shot him from the stands. They just hit the ground. But no damage done there as Houston's able to get the stop for a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And Houston has to take a little bit of comfort out of that last drive offensively. They were able to move a ball against a first-ranked defense in the NFL. That helps you moving forward, especially a young quarterback like Deshaun Watson.
Pistol here for Russell Wilson. He's going to fake the handoff, turns around, Set's got plenty of time to throw. And he's going to look downfield. That was dangerous. That one's almost picked off. Almost picked off as Jonathan Joseph is out there and almost takes that one. And just like what happened for Houston, the defense drops it, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 11.
And Deshaun Watson, we talked about how his almost interceptions in the Cleveland game were a concern. Now both quarterbacks are having this trouble, and now Seattle's put in a 3rd and long situation that they have to find a way to convert.
3rd and long is never a good situation to be in. The least chance of converting when you go over 7 yards, but they're in one of those situations here. We'll see what they can do. Wilson's got time again. Good blocking. He's going to fire a comeback out on the right side, and that one is complete. And Amara Darboh, who has been standing up big for Seattle in the playoffs, he comes up with a nice comeback route there and completes it for the first down. So Seattle gets their first 3rd down conversion. We saw 3 for Houston. And both these offenses doing well on 3rd down. It's going to be a 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. 4:17 to go here in the first quarter of Super Bowl 52. Wilson under center, strong eye to the right. He's going to drop back to pass, got time again. He's going to fire that one over the middle, and that one is complete. Darboh again, and he is taken down at the 36-yard line. Wilson 2 for 3 for 36 yards.
In talking to this Houston organization before the game, Darboh was their kryptonite in the last time these two teams played, and so far, Houston's defense has been unable to find a solution to bottling him up.
Under center again for Wilson. He's in the I formation with 3 wide receivers. Going to turn around, hand that one off to McKissick. He's got nowhere to go, and he is stopped for no gain, so nothing there on the run. A couple of early runs, not really doing anything. Looks like they're going to have to go with the pass game if they're going to move the ball against this defense.
And it's one of the things that Seattle has to know coming into this. They have to know where J.J. Watt is, and they need to know where Whitney Merciless is at all times on this field to be able to not only protect Russell Wilson, but to be able to try and run this ball effectively.
Single back, 2 tight ends out to the right, and a false start there by Seattle. So that's going to push them back 5 yards and bring up a 2nd and 15 from the Texans' 40-yard line. 2:57 to go here in the first quarter. Neither team taking a whole lot of chances outside of that one deep throw by the Texans early on, and they're just trying to play small ball control. Texas defense doing a little bit better job against the run, but so far Seattle's done pretty well with the pass. Wilson drops back up, plenty of time. Again, good protection from the line. That one's forced through traffic, and that is complete out to Jimmy Graham, who picks up 13 yards to bring up a 3rd and 2.
And that was actually Luke Wilson with the catch. And a good job by Wilson. Finds the hole in the zone, finds the open space. Good job by Russell Wilson seeing that, and really a beautiful pass, threading the needle perfectly to get to Wilson. Sets him up with a nice 3rd and short here.
3rd and short, definitely what you want to do. 42% completion percentage on 3rd down for Seattle as they hand it off to Eddie Lacy. Powers forward, but there's a flag on the play. So they pick up the first down, but that's coming back as Abushi gets called for the hold, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 12. So now their second 3rd down. They've had a 3rd and 11, now a 3rd and 12. Let's see if they can convert this one the same way they did the last one.
And that's the right tackle, Abushi. He's matched up with J.J. Watt. That's a battle of interest to watch on that edge all game long. We'll see if J.J. Watt can continue to get the better of Abushi all game.
3rd and 12 here for Seattle. Wilson in the shotgun. And he's going to turn around, just hands it off, and it goes up the middle, stumbles, and he stays on his feet, but Procise not able to get the first down, and it looks like Seattle playing it very safe there, going with the draw. That's going to put them in field goal range, and they're content with just letting Blair Walsh, come on and try to tie this game.
And Procise had a couple of holes in the inside. He was trying to force it a little bit too much to the right, had a hole on the inside to his left, All he needs to do is stick his foot in the ground, cut that way. He might have been able to pick up the first down.
All you guys out there that are watching on Twitch, we appreciate you guys being here. If you guys would do us a favor, go to Twitter and look at the link that we tweeted out earlier. We tagged Rex and Clint. Go in and comment on it and remind them that the game's going. Try to get some people tuning in for our Super Bowl broadcast. 1st and 10 here for Houston as they come out for their second drive of the evening. 1:22 to go here in the first. Starting from their own 25 for the second time. Watson's going to pass, got plenty of protection. He could take off a run, but he's going to stand back and pass. He's going to throw it deep to Hopkins, and he just overthrows him to the sideline. Hopkins found a seam in the defense, and Watson not able to get the accurate pass in there, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
That's a dangerous play by Deshaun Watson, and you brought it up. All the room in the world to run. Instead, he stands in the pocket, holds on to the football, and tries to force it down the field. That is extremely dangerous to do against this defensive line that will make you pay for trying to make too big of a play like that.
Under center here for Watson. He's got Deontay Foreman in the backfield. He's going to turn it off. Hands off to Foreman, who breaks one tackle, and he powers forward through Bobby Wagner's tackle out to the 32-yard line, pickup of 7, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3. Houston continues to keep themselves in these short 3rd and manageable situations.
And one of the things that Houston has to recognize is on these 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 situations, he's not going to be able to run the football to pick up that first down. You're going to have to put the ball in Deshaun Watson's hands and ask him to make a play in order to keep this drive alive on these 3rd and manageables.
Watson's going to drop back to pass again on 3rd and 3, and he gets sacked on the outside. Averill comes off the edge. He beats his man, and he gets the sack. We talked about this defense in the pregame show, and there they show up, getting the sack off the edge, and that's going to force Shane Leckler to come on to punt here for the Texans. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. We had a tie game here at Super Bowl 52 between the Texans and the Seahawks. We'll pause for station identification.
Live play-by-play in Red Zone. Team Twitter accounts, articles, and highlights. This is PX1 Sports.
Shout out to Jeremy Dugan for the PX1 Sports sweeper as McKissick takes the punt up across midfield out to the 43. And that is where we will start here to start the second quarter. Again, tie ball game at 3 apiece. Houston had a long drive that ended almost in an interception, but they wound up settling for a field goal. Seattle drives down the field on their next possession, and they looked like they were driving pretty well, but settled for a draw on 3rd and long, kicked the field goal to tie it, and then Houston had a punt, and now only the second possession already of the game for Seattle. So Wilson is under center here, got trips out to the right. They're going to hand it off to Rawls, who goes out to the right, and he runs into traffic as he is brought down there by number 93, Quentin Coples, the former Jet, Jets, Jets. Shout out to Jersey Bourne, who has the Jets in the Deuce League, and Worm Reaver, actually, who has the Jets in this league. So 2nd and 8 coming up here as the run game for Seattle just not really able to get going outside of that one draw play.
And you notice on that play, they've started to move away from J.J. Watt. They attacked him a little bit early, and now they're moving away from him. These are the kind of adjustments that Seattle has to make, knowing where J.J. Watt is and how to keep him under wraps to be effective offensively.
2nd and 8, Wilson's going to pass. He fires it out into the flat to Proslice, who makes the grab, and Wilson's 4 for 5 for 62 yards on the game. That's a first down out to the Houston 29-yard line.
It's a smart play by Wilson. Just take the easy throw. Proslice can make some moves in space there. He does it, picks up the first down, and it keeps its drive alive and gives Seattle good field position here. 3 if they can't convert, but they're looking to push it in the end zone right now.
Seattle looking good on offense, not getting able to get the run game going, but the pass game's looking really good. There's another pass into the flat as Graham makes the catch, and he fights off one tackler. Finally, he's met and taken down by a swarm of Texans defenders. Kevin Johnson, among others, in on the play. Only a 2-yard gain. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. Kevin Johnson already 4 tackles in the game.
And those kind of plays are difficult if you're looking at Houston from a secondary standpoint. The fact that a corner has made so many tackles means one of two things. Either your interior is giving up too many plays to the outside, or you're letting up too many plays on the perimeter, especially Johnson, to have to make so many tackles.
2nd and 8 here for Wilson. He's going to drop back to pass. Looks over the middle, got plenty of time. Fires it over the middle, and it's complete. Doug Baldwin down to the 5-yard line. Big pickup over the middle there. Found the soft spot in the Houston defense. That's a big first down, 22-yard gain. And that is going to put a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for Seattle here against the Texans.
Doug, the dartboard Baldwin, making another catch in traffic. Tight throw for Russell Wilson, puts it right on the money, and only Doug Baldwin can come down with that. Those are the kind of catches that Russell Wilson asks him to make.
Doug, the dartboard, we got a new nickname for Baldwin. Wilson's going to pass again. He's getting pressured in. He's taken down in the backfield. J.J. Watt is in there on the combo sack, as that's going to drop him back 7 yards, and that's going to make 2nd and goal here from the 12. We talked about this defense before the game, and there you see it. We've seen sacks from both teams now, and I expect that's not going to be the last we see from either team.
You saw Brian Cushing in on the sack as well. He is one of the defenders that Houston was missing the last time these two teams met in the regular season. Houston certainly glad to see him making an impact there, and they are loving having him back on this defense.
J.J. Watt, a big player in the middle of that line. Well, actually, and defensive tackle on nickel situations and on running situations, but always a force. 2nd and goal. Wilson's going to pass again. They've kind of abandoned the run game since it's not going. Wilson's going to roll out. He's getting chased, and he finally just throws it away as he gets wrestled down out there by Brandon Dunn, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and goal.
And Russell Wilson is going to have to be asked to make plays in the run game in order for there to be a run game. Russell Wilson has legs of his own. This defense is hard hitting, so he's not going to be able to run for 6-7 yards, but he may have to pick up 3-4 yards with his own legs. He does have that kind of mobility and is a threat that he brings to the table.
3rd and goal, and Wilson's trying to draw the defense offside, and he draws his own team offside. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, going to push him back even more, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and goal from the 17. That is definitely not what you like to see. Going back to, I believe it was the Arizona game, Seattle got into the red zone. As we look at this 3rd down conversion here, Wilson's got plenty of time again. Got nowhere to go with it, though. He's going to scramble, throws it into traffic, and it's picked off. Kevin Johnson comes up with the pick, and he returns it out to the 14-yard line. Wilson, he gets him all the way down there, and then he forces a pass, had nowhere to go, needed to just go out of bounds, take the 3 points, tries to force it in and make a play. Kevin Johnson comes up with the pick, and now the Texans got the ball.
And Russell Wilson does not make the smart throw. He's trying to do too much. Gets outside, looks downfield, tries to force a pass. He wanted the 6 points, and he pays for it there.
And up Deontay Foreman goes outside, got good blocking, and he's got the edge. And Richard Sherman comes up with a nice wrap-up tackle to keep him from going any farther. Had he broke that tackle, he might have still been running. But that's a 1st down run out to down to the 27-yard line. So 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Seahawks turn it over on the Russell Wilson interception. And Houston is back on offense. Seattle actually outgaining Houston 88-67 at this point. Kind of surprising considering that first drive for Houston, but they haven't been able to do much since. There's a pass out in the flat. Foreman's getting it again. Tries to hurdle the defender, KJ Wright, but he makes the tackle, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 8.
I want to go back to all these Seattle false starts that they have, and this is the sign of an offensive line that has had their head messed with. This Houston defensive line, particularly on the right side of the field, because that's where we're seeing it. J.J. Watt has gotten into the minds of this offensive line, and they are showing it on the field with the false start penalties.
2nd and 8 here Deshaun Watson in the shotgun. Texans decide they do not like what they're looking at. They're going to call a timeout. 3-3 game here in Super Bowl 52 from Minneapolis. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Mike Peters, along with David Roy. 6:59 to go here in the second. This has mostly been a defensive game. We've seen a couple of sacks. We've seen a turnover by the Seahawks. And we'll see what happens here on this drive for the Texans. Watson in the shotgun. Drops back, got plenty of time. He's going to fire it over the middle, out to the numbers. And he's got Jalen Strong, who makes the catch on the out route. Little flood concept there. Good for the first down, out to the 45. And Houston is on the move.
And this is something that Seattle's secondary really hasn't seen too much throughout the playoffs. Now, Carolina has Curtis Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, very fast receiver-type players. McCaffrey, obviously a running back, but you can split him out wide. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver, he's a bit quicker. This Houston wide receiving core, though, it's mostly speed, and that's helping to create separation and open throwing lanes for Watson.
Watson dropping back to pass, and he's got nowhere to go, and he is taken down in the backfield. Cliff Averill gets in there again for his second sack of the game, and that's a 6-yard loss. Going to bring up a 2nd and 16, so this Seattle defense is stepping up. After the turnover by the offense, the defense comes through there, gets their second sack of the game, and that brings up a long second down. So now it's going to have to be a very nice play to get Houston in those short, manageable third downs that they've gotten used to so far in this game. They're going to have to pick up 12, 14 yards in this play. Don't think you'll see that. But if they can at least get half of it, it would be a lot better than a 3rd and 16. There's a screen pass out to the left. Lamar Miller makes the grab, and he is taken down by Jeremy Lane with the big hit. Sean Watson now 6 for 9. That's going to bring up a long 3rd and 12.
And that's the kind of play I wish they would have done on their first drive down into the red zone when they had that 3rd and short situation. That's what I would have liked to have seen from them in that situation. Now, Watson, you see the play calling on that sack that put them back in that 2nd 18 situation. They've gone back to trying to get Watson comfortable with taking shots down the field against this secondary. And it paid off a little bit, but they're going to have to be very selective of when they take those shots.
Watson back to pass again, and Averill comes off the edge again. Averill has just engaged beast mode. Shout out to his former teammate. 3 sacks in the first half of Super Bowl 52, and Houston has to punt.
The speed that Cliff Averill brings to the edge has shown up today, and Deshaun Watson, he's been semi-protected, but they've got to figure out another way to protect that right side of the offensive line and keep Deshaun Watson covered. Buy him time to make those throws down the field, especially if you want to take shots down the field. You've got to keep Cliff Averill under wraps, because Watson does not have the time to get the ball off downfield and does not have the time for the play to develop.
1st and 10 here for Seattle. They fake the handoff to Rawls. Rawls picks up his block and go with the screen pass to Jimmy Graham. He's got a 1st down and out almost to midfield as he is taken down there by Kevin Johnson, who continually makes plays on the defense for Houston. As he mentioned, Houston had pretty good pass protection for their first few drives, and all of a sudden it just fell apart in that last one. Averill getting 2 sacks, and that's going to be something to watch as Averill, he gets going. I mean, he's already got 3 sacks in the first half. If he's just going to dominate the line all night, it's going to be a long night for Watson. We talked about how he likes to force, well, not likes to, but had a proficiency, or I don't know the word I'm looking for there, as Rawls got nowhere to go, but propensity to throw to the other team against Cleveland. So we'll have to see how Watson responds now that he's getting pressure and he's been sacked a few times. Nowhere to go there. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9. Give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Burns, Pack, Peyton, Jimmy, Georgia fan, Jerked. We saw Woodsmall in here. Jersey Born. Had some new guys that we haven't seen in here before. So appreciate you guys all tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. And we look forward to an exciting second half and a conclusion of this first half. Wilson's back to throw here. Got plenty of time. Now he gets sacked as Quentin Coples breaks free. He had time, but nobody was open downfield. That's a coverage sack as the Texans defense was playing good coverage. Copels breaks free, gets the sack. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 18 as both of these defenses are now wired up and making big plays. Long 3rd down coming up here for Wilson and the Seahawks. So 3rd and 18, 2:30 to go here in the second quarter, and Seattle's not like what they're looking at. It's a long 3rd down. At this point, David, do you just run a draw play or a screen play and not do anything too foolish? You've already thrown 1 interception. You don't want to take any risks here?
Just play field position. Get as many yards as you can. Don't need the first down, but just pin Houston as deep as you can. That worked the last time because they struggled to get out of the shadow of their own goalpost.
Wilson back to throw, standing in his own 30-yard line, fires it over the middle, and that one is complete. Jimmy Graham comes up with a jumping catch before he is laid out in the secondary, but Graham holds on to that one. Russell Wilson, pointing at the name on the back, says, "Look at me, I'm the real MVP." They got a first down to the 31-yard line. That's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. So we thought play field position. They went for it. They threw it downfield. Is the tide starting to turn in this game as the Seattle defense kind of shifted momentum for this team?
Seattle's got the momentum going for them. And we thought coming into this how big of an impact that Jadeveon Clowney not being here was going to make. Now, certainly there's been a couple of plays, but for the most part, this Houston front 7 has played exceptionally well. They've had to adjust to J.J. Watt on the right side. Now Houston has to make those same kind of adjustments for Cliff Averill in order for their offense to be effective.
1st and 10 here, under center for Wilson, strong to the right. They're going to hand it off to McKissic's got room to go. Got one man to beat. He puts on a spin move. He jukes him out of his shoes, and he's into the end zone. The first touchdown of the game here in Super Bowl 52 belongs to the Seattle Seahawks. McKissic putting on the moves. He gets into the end zone, 1:53 to go, and pending an extra point here, Seattle will go up 10-3 here before the half.
And Houston came with a blitz. They brought them on the inside. Seattle designs a run play to go to the outside, away from the blitz, out and away from any of the linebacking core because they get sucked to the inside, and it pays off with 6 points there. McKissic has the speed that Lacey doesn't, and right there, that's the kind of play calling that Seattle needs to continue to make in order to keep this Houston defense on its heels.
Great call there by Seattle. Was able to get it into the end zone. Takes the 7-point lead. Their defense is stepping up, making things happen. Cliff Averill has been putting on a show, at least on that last drive. We'll see what they're able to do here. 1 minute, 50 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Super Bowl 52. Again, I'm your play-by-play host, Mike Peters, along with David Roy, also known as WKXT in the PX1 circles. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's a great game so far. Lots. The defense finally saw a little bit of offense there on the big run. And then we got Deshaun Watson in the shotgun here. Empty set. Let's see if they bring a blitz. Doesn't look like they're going to. 1st and 10. 4-man rush. Got plenty of time. And he fires it outside. Got Fedorowicz on the outside, and he gets knocked out of bounds. Another big hit by Richard Sherman. What's gotten into Richard Sherman tonight? He is big hitting like crazy out there.
He must have been taking lessons from Cam Chancellor or Earl Thomas, one of these two hard-hitting safeties in the Seattle secondary. But there on that play, Cliff Averill started to come free. Watson got the ball out fast enough, and that's going to be one of the keys for Houston, that if they're not going to keep a tight end in to double-team Cliff Averill, Watson's going to get the ball out a little bit faster than what he has been on the previous drives in order to avoid these sacks and 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations.
Well, they did okay keeping him at bay there. Watson's passing over the middle, finds DeAndre Hopkins for about an 8-yard pickup. And just over a minute and a half to go here. Actually, they're going to call it 6 yards and bring up a 2nd and 4. Only 52 passing yards for Houston. It seems like that first drive was so good. They converted 3 third downs. We're driving down the field, and all of a sudden stalled at the end and almost threw an interception. But wasn't as long as we thought. It was just a lot of short plays. But they got a 2nd and 4 here, 1:18 to go in the first half. Watson's going to drop back to pass. Brought a blitz off the outside and did not get to him. And that pass was dropped as Jalen Strong not able to hold on to that one. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 4.
When you get hit that hard, that pass is going to get dropped every time. Watson needs to get that ball out there a little bit sooner. Jalen Strong has the time then to catch it, protect it, and avoid the drop and pick up the first down.
World Series update for you, those of you that are interested. Houston up 5-0 over the Dodgers as Yu Darvish gets torched in his Game 7 appearance. There's a handoff up the middle. A.J. Blue with the carry, and he's able to get across the line for the first down out past midfield. It's going to bring up the 1st and 10. And Houston taking their time here. They're not really trying to rush down the field. They've only got 2 timeouts, and now we're under a minute to go here in the second quarter.
And it's a little bit surprising. You're under a minute. You're moving the ball effectively. Why not take the timeout, save yourself a little bit of clock, give yourself a little bit of maneuverability down here to try and tie things up before halftime.
1st and 10 here for Watson in the shotgun. You have Lamar Miller out there who's running out on a route, and he gets hit up the middle, and he fumbles! The ball hits the ground, and it's recovered by Seattle. Seattle's Frank Clark comes through with the fumble recovery, and they get the ball back with 35 seconds to go in great field position at the Houston 38-yard line.
And this is a kind of thing that we talked about. Cliff Averill, what adjustment has Houston made to keep Cliff Averill from getting to Watson? Not really any, and now you're giving Seattle field position to go up by 10 before half.
This Seattle defense is playing like their hair is on fire. They want this Super Bowl, and they want it bad. 35 seconds to go here in the first half. There's a screen pass outside. Darboh makes the catch, tries to put on a juke, and he gets out of bounds. Nice play there by the young receiver out of Michigan. He's going to get 8 yards there. 2nd and 2 with 30 seconds to go.
Seattle has a timeout left. So that play, it saves Seattle a timeout with 30 seconds on the clock. Let Seattle run a couple more plays, and maybe Seattle can go up by 14 if they play their cards right and execute perfectly here.
You got to think with the way this defense is playing, going up by 14 is very, very comfortable for him. Wilson back to pass again in the shotgun, fires it over the middle. That one's caught by Baldwin, puts on a move, and he gets tackled down at the 15-yard line. They're going to hurry up the line. They only got 1 timeout, so time is ticking quickly, and looks like they were going to spike it, but now they're going to run a play. They are wasting valuable time here. Wilson under center, 12 seconds, 11, 10. They got 1 play. Wilson's going to take off and run. He's got room, and he slides down at the 3-yard line. And they take a timeout, so I guess they've got time for 1 quick pass. That was an interesting play call. I don't know. I might have took a timeout there and then just tried to play the sidelines or took a shot or 2 into the end zone, but they wasted a lot of time. But they did get down to the 3-yard line, so they could run a quick slant or a fade route here and try to get their 7, if not take the field goal and take a 10-point lead into the half. So 6 seconds to go. Wilson's in the shotgun, got 3 receivers out to his left. McKissick Procise to his right. They throw the fade in the end zone, and that one is swatted away. Kevin Johnson gets the better of big Jimmy Graham. That was a great play call, I thought. They went to the big tight end against the cornerback, but Kevin Johnson makes the big play, and they're going to go ahead and bring on Blair Walsh here for the field goal.
I was going to say, down in this situation, you're either going to go to Jimmy Graham on a fade or something inside where he can catch it and box out the defense, or you're going to go to Doug the Dartboard Baldwin on a slant. They went to Graham, and it didn't pay off.
It was a nice shot. I wasn't sure what they were doing, but they had it under control. They knew what they were doing. They get the 3 points there at the end of the half, and that means we go to the half at 13-3. Seattle leading Houston here in Super Bowl 52. Seattle's going to take it here to start the second half. Tyler Lockett takes it up the middle, across the 25, out to the 27. So a nice return there by Lockett, and that's where Seattle is going to start here to start the second half, leading by 10 from their own 27. So we've seen the first half. Houston's made some mistakes. Seattle's defense, the big story. Do you expect anything to change here in the second half for either of these teams, David?
I would expect that Seattle's going to keep the momentum going, and I'd like to see them figure out a way to get their running game going. On the other side of the ball for Houston, they got to figure out a way to force Russell Wilson to make another mistake, give Watson an opportunity to get them back into this game.
Well, you expect them just to run the ball here and protect their lead, but they don't. They go with the play action and throw the comeback out to Amara DeBow on the outside, who makes the grab out at the 39-yard line and gets out of bounds. So nice pickup there by Darboh, who is making an impact again on the Seattle team. So out to the 39, 1st and 10 here on the first drive of the second half. Seattle started off with a field goal, and then they added a touchdown a little bit later on, got a field goal right at the end of the half after a turnover, and they lead by 10. They're going to hand that one off to McKissick on the outside. Got room to run and good blocking, and he spins on a one, and he keeps going. Gilchrist finally wrestles him down at the 44-yard line, so the little running back is out there. He's the little engine that could with that run there, and that's going to bring up a first down out to the 44.
Houston right there on that play, you can see it. They're missing Jadeveon Clowney on this defense. Clowney, the ability of him to make plays and slow down this running game, they'd love to have him. They got to figure out a way to shut down this running game now.
Russell Wilson in the pistol here with Eddie Lacy in the backfield. He's going to pass again. Nobody's open, so he's going to take off and run. He's got a little bit of room across the 40. He dives on the ground. I don't know why he didn't slide, but he dives head first. That's dangerous, but he picks up a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 4. So this has been a crazy game as the defense for Seattle started off slow. Houston looked good, and then the Seattle defense got together on the sideline and has just been playing with like their hair is on fire, making all kinds of things happen. You would expect Seattle to try to play more ball control here, but they're keep passing. They're putting the pressure on it. They smell blood, and they're going after him, but they're going to turn around, hand this one off here to Lacy. He goes over the middle. Looked like he's going to jump for the first down. Holds on to it, but he's across the first down line out to the 33 for a 1st and 10.
In Seattle at this point, they feel like they own Houston on this field entirely, both sides of the ball. From a defensive standpoint, Houston has been able to move the ball, but ultimately they struggle and sputter out. On the offensive side of the ball for Seattle, they have had Houston's number all game. They've kept JNYHART confined for the better part of this game, and Russell Wilson has made plays, so has McKissick, and now Lacy's getting his share.
Thomas Rawls in the backfield now. They got a four-headed horseman there in the backfield. They try to go with the end around to Mara Delbo, and he fumbles it. He fumbles it. Whitney Merciless is there to hop on the fumble, and Houston gets their first big play there of the second half. They get the turnover, and did that just change momentum?
It has to, because now Houston's defense, they know that they created the turnover. But it only matters if Deshaun Watson can put 6 on the board with this drive.
Watson has looked good at times and looked kind of shaky at times. Actually, it weirdly hasn't been his fault. It's been the offensive line that's looked shaky, especially out against Cliff Averill. So 1st and 10 here, 13-3 lead for Seattle, but Houston's got the ball after the fumble by Darboh. And throw over the middle, and it's picked off. Watson throws a pick. That's Bobby Wagner. He's got it. He's heading up the middle, and he is back to the 40-yard line. Bobby Wagner, 11 interceptions between the playoffs and regular season, and he gets his 12th there, and boy, is that a big one.
And Seattle did a good job. They disguised the coverage here. Deshaun Watson felt the blitz to his right, felt like he had to get the ball out a little bit sooner, forces it into traffic, and you said it before in the pregame show, Seattle will not drop these interceptions like Cleveland did in the AFC Championship game, and right there they pull off another one.
Big turnover there by the Seattle defense, and Wilson's going to come out. He's going to throw it. He does a pick. That one's picked off by Jonathan Joseph, and it's going back and forth. Fumble, pick. Neither one of these offenses wanted to win the game, but both of these defenses are showing up. And whoa, what is going on with both of these offenses? Seattle's got an opportunity that's to slow the game down, and they're trying to go for something. It's not even a big pass. They just throw it out to the side. Wilson throws the pick, and now Houston's got the ball back. And then they hand it out to Foreman, and he's got room to run. He's got one man to beat. He's getting chased. He's out to the 20, to the 10, and he's into the end zone. Houston capitalizes on the turnover, gets it into the end zone for a touchdown. Whoa, what a turn of events in this one.
A crazy situation. You don't see it often. Houston gets their own interception, and they make a smart play. They take the ball out of Deshaun Watson's hands and they give it to Foreman and they give him the opportunity to make a play, and he has left his mark on this Seattle defense. Now it's a 3-point game with this Houston defense feeling confident in being able to create turnovers, and Houston now seems to have all the momentum in the world.
Definitely seems like they got momentum as McKissic's going to turn this one up take this one up the middle. He spins. He's got one man to beat, and finally he is wrestled down there. It looked like he was going to break another one as Corey Moore was able to wrestle him down. So Seattle's going to start at the 31. We thought that Seattle had all of the momentum, and then Darboh fumbled, but then Watson turns it over, and Seattle had the opportunity to steal momentum back, but immediately goes back and turns it over again. And then we get the touchdown by Deontay Foreman. One play later, and now it looks like Houston's got the momentum. Either way, whoever's got the momentum, we've got a 3-point game. And Russell Wilson's going to turn around, hand it off to McKissic. He's got room to go up the middle, and he is finally wrestled down by Kevin Johnson, who has been everywhere tonight. McKissic, 4 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. That's a first down run out to the 45.
And I want to go back to the interception by Russell Wilson. It's a great play by Houston's defense. They send the blitz on the inside, forcing Russell Wilson to get the ball out a little bit sooner than what he wanted. It was a 3-step drop initially. Now you have guys in your face, so he gets it out even faster, and the corner is sitting right there waiting for it. A great play call by Houston's defense.
Toss play out there to Rawls and nowhere to go as Brian Cushing's able to meet him at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. It's only the first tackle for Cushing. He's been kind of quiet. He missed part of the season with an injury. Allowed Zach Cunningham to get into the lineup. Cunningham winds up winning AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. Cushing back in there now and gets his first tackle of the game. So 2nd and 10 here from the 45-yard line. Seattle's got the ball. Turned the ball over on their last 2 possessions and really twice in 3 plays. And finally, they're trying to slow things down a little bit. They're going to turn around, hand off McKissic again, who's got a big hole up the middle. And it seems like every time McKissic gets the ball, the C's part. He's now got 72 yards on 5 carries.
In Seattle offensively, they've had a lot of success running the ball, which is surprising against this Houston defense. Houston has seemingly, over the past couple of drives, been able to take away the passing game, forcing Russell Wilson to make a few mistakes. Now they need to figure out a way to shut down this running game along with it.
14 runs and 16 passes for Seattle. They're going to hand it off to Procise. He's got one man to beat too, but he stumbles over Amara Darboh, and he goes down at the 38-yard line. He does pick up the first down, so it's going to be a 1st and 10 from the Houston 38. Marcus Gilchrist in on the tackle. So, man, it's this is a hard game to recap. It started off 3-3. We thought this was going to be a very defensive game. It has been, but we've seen a lot of turnovers now all of a sudden. Russell Wilson threw one, and then they got the fumble by Darboh, and then Houston turned it over, and then Wilson turns it right back over. Now they got the touchdown by Houston that brought them within 3, and now Seattle's trying to get going again. They try the screen pass out there as JNYHART tracks down Eddie Lacy, and that's a 5-yard loss on the play, so 2nd and 15. Trying to get our breath here in the broadcast booth. Been a lot of things going back and forth. I hope you guys are enjoying this one. This one has been crazy. We said the over-under was 40 points in this one. We're at 23 right now. The way this is going with the defense, I don't know if these offenses can put up 17 more, although they do both have big runs, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this game anymore. It's been crazy. It's been amazing. And I just can't wait to see what the next 18 minutes of this game have in store. 2nd and 15 here for the Seahawks. Russell Wilson standing at the 50-yard line. He's in the shotgun. He's got time to pass. Can fire it over the middle. Finds his running back, but McKissic gets laid out and his head bounced off the turf. We see him get up there, but I thought he just got hammered by McKinney. He might not come back. That is one of the downsides of having those little running backs, as they are not always durable, but McKissic bounces back there. So let's bring him to 3rd and 15 from the 43.
In these 3rd and long situations, we've seen a little bit of success from them. We've also seen a little bit of failure. We'll see if they can drop the right play here to convert.
They're trying to go with the fake screen, and they're getting plenty of protection. They fire it downfield, and it's picked off. Another interception as Gilchrist comes through and picks it up. He's got room to run, but no, he runs in to Tyler Lockett, who makes the tackle. And Russell Wilson, That play, I don't know, David, you tell me. They went with the screen earlier in the game, and it was almost picked off. That one, they faked the screen, then they throw it in traffic downfield. Seattle just can't get out of their way here as they keep turning the ball over on offense.
And that's, again, another play call. I'm not a fan of it in this situation. Just make the smart play, take the field position, and go from there. And for those of you keeping score at home, the over on combined turnovers was 4.5.
Well, we're definitely over there as we see Lamar Miller get stopped dead in his tracks. Sheldon Richardson, the pickup in the offseason from the Jets, makes the tackle. So 5, correct me if I'm wrong, are we at 5 turnovers now?
5 or 6. I think it's 6 at this point.
It's too many. It's way too many. Everybody that bid the under there with these two teams, Seattle plus 29 in turnovers, Houston plus 20, but they're both turning the ball over at will here. So far, there's a rollout by Watson. He throws backwards across the field, a dangerous play. Luckily, he throws it, and there's nowhere there. DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. I think both of these coaches and both of these teams are rattled now. I mean, I think Seattle clearly had the momentum. Houston seemed to steal it, and now I don't think either team's got the momentum. I think this is both nerves and the pressure, everything that's going on, lots of mistakes. I think it's getting to them, and we're going to have to see who can pull it together and make the most plays. Or I guess make the most plays or make the fewest mistakes maybe is a better way to say that. 3rd and 11 here. Watson from the shotgun got trips out to the right. A.J. Blue in the backfield. Looks like they're bringing a blitz off to the left. Watson sees it, makes an adjustment. 3 seconds to go. Fakes the snap. They're bringing it hard. They pick it up, though. Fires it over the middle. He got Fuller, who makes the catch in traffic. Bobby Wagner in on the tackle with Sheldon Richardson. And that's going to make a 4th and 4, and they're going to have to punt.
And that's a smart play by Deshaun Watson. It doesn't pick up the first down, but he goes to the receiver, takes what the defense gives him, and you live to play another day instead of spotting Seattle. Great field position with an opportunity to come away with points. I like what Deshaun Watson did there.
Shane Leckler punts it deep. McKissick's going to get it. Tries to put on a spin move. He makes another guy miss, but he's finally tackled there on the outside as number 20, Marcus Bailey, I believe he's a former Seahawk, actually comes in and makes the tackle. So at the 43 is where Seattle's going to take back over. Still got a 3-point lead with 4:27 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
I think the league will be posing an investigation into whether or not McKissick was doused in some type of oil because he is slipping through this Houston defense. And from an offensive standpoint, what do you call? Because you've turned the ball over so many times.
Well, Wilson's going to keep passing. He fires it outside of Doug Baldwin on the out route, and he is out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So a nice first down there, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 41. Seattle leads 13-10 with 4:22 to go here in the 3rd quarter of Super Bowl 52. I'm your play-by-play host, Mike Peters, along with David Roy. We hope you're enjoying this one. It has been a crazy game and exciting all the same. Seattle coming out here with the first down. Just over 4 minutes to go in the I formation with 3 wide receivers. And McKissick's in the backfield again, and they hand it off up the middle and runs into his blocker, and he's finally wrestled down, but gets a flag on the play as DJ Reader gets called for the face mask, and that's a big 15-yard penalty, and to get the Seattle offense down to the 22.
And these penalties, we haven't seen a lot from Houston, but at an inopportune moment, now you're giving Seattle 15 yards, a new set of downs, and they are knocking on the red zone with an opportunity to extend this lead. However, Houston has been able to force Russell Wilson and turn the ball over. They need to come up with another one right now.
Strong formation to the right. Jimmy Graham at tight end. Thomas Rawls in the backfield. Wilson's going to pass. Got plenty of time. He fires it over to the right, and that one is almost picked off, as McKinney dives for that. It didn't look like there was a defender anywhere near, and he left it short and almost picked off. Russell Wilson is just not channeling his inner mojo and is having all kinds of trouble out there. I would probably run the ball 2 out of every 3 plays, but they seem intent on continuing to pass the ball.
And he's thrown 3 interceptions to this point already. And on that play, and with keeping it in his hands, you're daring this defense to come up with a 4th.
CJ Procyse gets the handoff, and he heard me there, and they go ahead and hand it off, and he gets out to the 20. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. I don't think you want to hand it off here I mean, a field goal would help. It would give you a 6-point lead. But, we saw the big run by D'Onta Foreman for Houston earlier. So you don't know now if maybe they go to the run game. They might not be able to stop them. I don't know if I like a 6-point lead, but at the same time, your defense is always dangerous. So it's really hard to say either way. We'll see what happens. I'm going to bet they're probably going to pass it the way as aggressive as they've been in this game. 3rd and 9 from the 20. Watt shifts inside. Wilson's got plenty of time. He fires it over the middle. Nowhere near a receiver. Almost right to the safety. Another pick almost waiting by Gilchrist, and he just couldn't get over there. And Blair Walsh is going to have to come on for the field goal.
And it's surprising because going into this, Houston was a team that we expected to come out of this firing on all cylinders. And they did early. They were extremely aggressive. Now they've dialed that back. And Seattle is the one who's coming out exceptionally aggressive. And 3 interceptions later, they're still being somewhat aggressive. They haven't made that adjustment. Houston has.
As we see, he's just powering up the middle. Give the credit there to Bruce Ellington, trying to go up the middle. He just keeps stumbling, trying to push guys out of the way. He's just too little to make things happen. But he gets it out to the 27. But after the 3 turnovers, and you see how bad Russell Wilson has been lately, do you even consider going to the bench with him? They do have RG3 as a backup. I mean, just throwing it out there.
They do, but Russell Wilson has been on this stage before that you almost expect him to be better than what he has been so far.
There's a fullback flat out to Jay Prosch, who was able to get out to the 35, and an 8-yard pickup, bring up a 2nd. Go ahead and continue your thought there, David. I know you stopped to let me call that.
He's been on this stage before. Remember, 2 Super Bowls back-to-back, lost one to New England. Now you're back on the stage where Russell Wilson is familiar. But I think the biggest thing that you have to figure out to do with Wilson is find a way to get his confidence back. Instead of forcing him to throw down the field, let him throw underneath a little bit and protect him. At this point, Russell Wilson is playing rattled.
He's very rattled as we see Lamar Miller get to the edge there and gets the first down on the toss play. So that's a first down at the 38. And Seattle leads 16-10 here with 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. This has been a crazy game. I agree with you talking about Russell Wilson. We know Houston's on offense. We should be talking about Deshaun Watson, in this running game. But Russell Wilson, the big story with 3 turnovers and a few more that just missed. We thought Deshaun Watson would be the one that gets rattled and maybe has that bad game. But right now, Wilson has been that guy. But Texans are on the prowl here. Watson under center. He's going to drop back to pass. Fires it over the middle. Diving catch. I think it was a catch. Yep, diving catch. That catch is made over the middle there by number 86, Devin Kajusti, the tight end out of Stanford. And that's a 9-yard pickup, bring up a 2nd and 1.
And now we are seeing that Houston is changing their play call. Now they're putting it back into Deshaun Watson's hands slowly but surely, and they're not asking him to do a lot. Just make the easy throws, get it underneath, and then we'll give it to the running backs on 2nd and short and 3rd and short to pick up the first down.
2nd and 1 here for Watson. He's in the pistol. He's going to turn around, hands it off to Miller, goes up the middle, and nowhere to go as Sheldon Richardson wrestles him down. Less than 3 yards of carry for Lamar Miller. D'Onta Foreman's been the more productive back in this one. That's going to bring up a short 3rd and 2 as we head towards the end of the third quarter.
And now at this point, Deshaun Watson needs to break out his own set of wheels. We've seen Russell Wilson do it a couple of times. Now it's Deshaun Watson's turn. As you're down 6, you're coming on in the fourth quarter. Start getting mobile, start moving around, and let Deshaun Watson run loose a little bit here.
3rd and 2, and Watson's going to fake the handoff, and he's got nowhere to go as they go blowing through the line. KJ Wright on the pressure, on the blitz, is able to get through on a sack, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 7. They don't need to punt it here before the end of the quarter, but it looks like they might. As Shane Leckler comes on here, big play by the Seattle defense. That's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter with Seattle leading 16-10. We'll pause for station identification.
You are listening to PX1 Sports, your home for sim football.
So start of the fourth quarter, Texans on the punt. Shane Leckler tries to angle it towards the sideline, and he gets it. Oh, on the sideline, McKissick keeps it in bounds. He puts on a move and is finally wrestled down at the 33. I thought he was going to pin him inside the 20, and a good punt by Leckler, but he couldn't get it quite out of bounds. And McKissick is doing everything. I know Averill's got 4 sacks in this game, but McKissick has been a big spark plug for this offense and on special teams. So I don't know if the game were to end right now who the MVP is, but it doesn't matter. Lots of game to go here in the fourth quarter. Both teams putting their 4s up, trying to get something going. Texans down by 6. Seattle comes out on offense, got to find a way to settle down Russell Wilson. They're in the strong formation to the right with twins to the left. They're going to hand off to Lacey. He goes up the middle, puts on a big hit of Kevin Johnson, just runs him over. And he is finally helped down in the backfield as Whitney Merciless is able to get over there and help him on the stop. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 2 from the Seattle 42.
And Seattle is making the right play call decisions here. They're taking it nice and easy, playing a little bit conservative. They're not putting it in Russell Wilson's hands, not forcing him to make long passes down the field. They're running the football, ball control offense, chew away the clock, and leave Houston having to make plays against your defense.
And they're going to hand it off to Procise, who's got some room, and he keeps making guys miss. Finally is tackled out there at the 43-yard line as Andre Howell is able to go on and wrestle him down, but Procise was making guys miss, had a big run there as this 4-headed running back tandem continues to churn out yards for the Seattle offense. They're finally going away from going deep with Wilson, trying to play more ball control, and it's working a little bit better for him. Might have worn out this Houston defense a little bit. So they got a 1st and 10 here at the Texans 43. Wilson's under center. Got Lacey in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Lacey. Runs in to the defensive line. Reader there to make the tackle. Lacey's got 4 carries for 13 yards now.
And again, at what point do you as the Texans, from the defensive standpoint, say enough is enough? Seattle's been able to move the ball very effectively throughout the run. Now they stop it there, but one stop compared to most of the big runs that we've seen Seattle come up with. Houston's got to figure out a way to shut it down permanently for the rest of this game.
Houston's starting to run blitz now to shut it down. They're going to go to the play action there. Wilson's going to pass, throws it off to the left, and that one is caught by Jimmy Graham. Nice grab out to the 32. Just gets his feet in on the sideline, picks up the 1st down, and they beat. It looked like a blitz coming off the right side of Seattle, but they picked it up, and that's going to bring up a 1st and 10.
Houston, they have about 9.5 minutes left. A field goal here, it's still manageable if your defense can find a way to get the turnover on the ensuing drive.
There's a draw play to Thomas Rawls, who takes it up the middle before he is tackled by J.J. Watt in the middle. 4 carries for 7 yards now for Rawls. Watt with his 4th tackle. So that brings up a 2nd and 6 from the 29. We were kind of disappointed that Seattle went for the field goal on their last drive. We thought they would need more than 6 to win this game, but their defense stood up, and now they're in a position for another field goal. And if they do and get a 9-point lead, with under 8 minutes to go, you got to feel fairly decent the way your defense is playing. But we'll see how it all shakes out. 2nd and 6 here from the 29. Wilson going under center. Got 2 tight ends out to the right, 2 receivers out to the left. He's going to drop back to pass. He's got time, and he's going to scramble up the middle, and he slides across the 25. Looks like a baseball player there. Bernardrick McKinney was closing in on him.
In Houston, now you're down at this point where Seattle's probably going to come away with points, barring a turnover. Now you have to start figuring out, okay, what do we do on the next series to shut down this offense and put the ball back in the hands of our own offense? And from that perspective, if you're Houston, what do you need to call to put 6 on the board and keep this game tight?
It is a tight game, up by 6 is Seattle. They're going to hand it off to Eddie Lacy, who gets the 1st down and a little bit more, and he's finally tackled by Kevin Johnson, who continues to come in and make plays. But Lacy down to the 15, big run by the former Green Bay Packer, and that's a 1st and 10 down to the 15-yard line as we're under 8 minutes to go in this game.
And that run play, well designed in the hands of a larger back. Power football on a 3rd and short. a well-designed play there, and notice how it went away from J.J. Watt. They're not running towards his side too much. They're trying to steer clear of the big man on the right side.
So 1st and 10 from the 15. Wilson under center again. Got Rawls in the backfield, going to hand it off to him this time. Tries to get going there, but nowhere to go as Brian Cushing comes up and makes the play after a 4-yard gain. So now Seattle is content with just running more time off the clock. They got to feel confident that Blair Walsh is going to hit the field goal here, and they'll get at least a 9-point lead. So it'll be 2 possessions, and they're content with just running the ball here. If it's me, I don't know. I'm probably just going to run it 3 plays in a row. We'll see what Seattle does. They've got a 2nd and 6 here from the 11, under 7 minutes to go. Wilson in the shotgun. He's got McKissick in the backfield. He fakes the handoff. They're going to throw the screenplay again. Doug Baldwin on the outside, and he gets a face mask. Jonathan Joseph comes in and gets the face mask, and that is a costly penalty, as it will give him a 1st and goal down at the 5-yard line.
And then it's a penalty that we saw happen earlier that helped Seattle come away with 3 points earlier in this second half. The face mask penalty set them up with a new set of downs, 15 yards, and now they're at the 5-yard line with 6 points on their minds.
1st and goal from the 5. Wilson under center. Got McKissick in the backfield. He hands it off and nowhere to go. Interesting decision to go to the little back McKissick there, and he's got nowhere to go, as actually going to lose a yard as McKinney comes in and makes the tackle. So that's a 2nd and goal now from the 6.
Yeah, at this point, down in this part of the field, you're going to want to go to your Eddie Lacy and your Thomas Rawls. Force them. They're a bit bigger backs, guys who you know can run between the tackles. Those would be my best bets to get the ball in this situation.
And there is Lacy, and he's got nowhere to go as McKinney comes through again and makes a stop as the Houston defense. Excuse me. This has been such a crazy game. It's got me all flustered. We talk about Russell Wilson being flustered. He's got me flustered. But McKinney comes in, makes the tackle, and the Houston defense is swarming now, trying to create a play or at least keep the Seattle offense out of the end zone. So 3rd and goal from the 9. They've lost 4 yards on their first 2 plays of this drive. Now they got an empty backfield with Wilson back there, trips out to the right. Wilson's going to take off on the draw up the middle. He's got room, and he is down at the 1-yard line, but they get called. Zach Cunningham gets called for the face mask. It's not going to hurt him yards-wise, but it gives him a brand new set of downs from the 1-yard line.
And it's not a bad play call in that situation to let Russell Wilson run with it. And now you have basically, from a Houston defense, you are basically giving them 6 points right now.
Eddie Lacy up the middle, fighting and nowhere to go. You thought you were giving him 6 points, but J.J. Watt says no, sir, as he stops him for no gain. I like you, I love that play call of the QB draw up the middle. It almost worked, and then you even got the benefit. It didn't work, and you got the face mask and a new set of downs. So great play call there by Pete Carroll and the Seattle offense, but no yards there as J.J. Watt gets through and tackles Lacy, stops him up for a no gain. So 2nd and goal here from the 1-yard line. Under 5 minutes to go. Seattle leading by 6 here in Super Bowl 52. Under center here for Wilson. Lacy in the backfield again. 2 tight ends out to the right. They're going to hand it off to Lacy again. Goes up the middle, and another flag on the play as Cushing got back there. And another face mask by the Texans on the goal line, and a brand new set of downs for Seattle. It is almost like this Texans defense is just trying to give it to Seattle.
And it hurts Houston for 2 reasons. One, it gives Seattle a new set of downs, but it's also giving Seattle more opportunities to chew away this game clock and limit Houston's opportunities.
They fake the handoff to Lacy. They hit him on the screen pass into the flat. Eddie Lacy into the end zone with a touchdown. You just can't give them that many opportunities. Finally, nice play call there by Seattle as they get the touchdown, and pending the extra point, are going to go up 23-10 with 4:34 to go here in Super Bowl 52. And actually, they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. They're going to try to go up by 14. It totally makes sense as Wilson's in the shotgun, and he's got protection as they brought the blitz, but they picked it up. Now he's getting chased. Nowhere to go. You got to just throw this one away. And they do. He throws it out of bounds. So 22-10. Seattle is going to lead. 4:34 to go. And they will kick it off, and Houston is going to have to go to work quick as they don't have a lot of time on the left on the board, and they are down by 12. They need 2 scores, but 2 touchdowns would win it for them, but they're going to have to get to work quick. David, this has been a crazy game. Houston, outside of the one long touchdown run and the early drive that led to a field goal, hasn't been able to do much. What can they do here? What openings do you see in the Seattle defense?
Well, one of the biggest things that Seattle has given up is space. And what I mean by that is Deshaun Watson has had several opportunities where he could have taken off and run with it. And at this point, Houston has got to say, look, we need big plays, we need magic. Let's turn Watson loose and let him make the plays with his legs and as he sees fit.
1st and 10 from the 25. Watson's going to take a shot deep. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. This goes up for it, and he actually has to play defense. As Sheard was about to pick that one off, Hopkins has to rip it loose, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. They were going for it deep there, but that was almost a dangerous play and almost put the ball game away. 2nd and 10 now from the 25. Watson in the shotgun again, got Miller off to the right, 2 receivers out to either side. Watson's got plenty of time, throws it over the middle, and that one just misses Jalen Strong as Watson is showing that he is rookie 11 of 19 for 95 yards and 1 interception. Not the best game that we've ever seen from Deshaun Watson.
And on that play, what he should have done is just step up into the pocket. He had a nice little opening up and to his left. Just a quick little step to that side into the pocket, buys him a little bit more time and allows a receiver to come open. He does that. That pass is complete, and it is not 3rd and 10.
But it is 3rd and 10 from the 25. Watson's going to drop back the pass. Got plenty of time, but now he gets pressure, and he throws it over the middle. That was just complete. Almost picked off as Bobby Wagner almost able to get over there, but complete to DeAndre Hopkins out to the 47, so a 22-yard pickup there. And Houston's going to have to hurry. They need 2 touchdowns. They're down by 12. There's only 4 minutes to go in this game, and the winner will be crowned the 2017 champion, the first one here on Madden 18. 1st and 10 here for Houston. Deshaun Watson comes out the shotgun again. Got 3 receivers to his right. DeAndre Hopkins, the lone receiver, to his left. And he gets sacked in the backfield as KJ Wright comes in on a blitz. And he gets there again for his 2nd sack of the game. And that is really starting to hammer away at that nail in the coffin.
And on the previous play, they went with a 3-man rush. On this play, they give Houston the same look. 3 guys down in front, but they come with a blitz. That catches Deshaun Watson by the surprise, and he loses 7 yards for it.
Great analysis to see that. And there's a pass over the middle, but to Fedorowicz, and it is incomplete. And that's going to bring up a long 3rd and 17. So you're in 4-down territory. You just try to pick up 7-8 yards here and put yourself in a manageable 4th down, David?
That's exactly what you have to do. You can't go for it all here because then you're looking at 4th and 17, where if you fail to convert, you're giving it back to Seattle on your side of the field with an opportunity for them to continue to extend that lead.
Watson back to pass, throws it over the middle. That one's complete to Will Fuller, who gets out to the 35-yard line. Big 1st down there. They did go for it all, and they got it. And a 1st and 10 down to the 34, just under 3 minutes to go. Houston's going to have to start hurrying, though. Will Fuller now 3 catches for 42 yards. And Watson comes out in the shotgun, standing on the 30-yard line with Miller out to his right. He gets good protection again, steps into the pocket, fires it deep in the triple coverage, but it's complete to Jalen Strong, who gets the touchdown. And Houston has finally converted through the air, and they get the touchdown to pull within 6. And we'll see on the extra point. It is good, and now Houston is down 5 with 2:24 to go here in Super Bowl 52.
And remember, the spread for this was that we had Seattle favored by 5.5. Houston now has an opportunity. They get a stop. They have all 3 timeouts. Houston has a chance that they can win this.
And here as we see it, Lockett take it up the middle before he's taken down at the 29. Not only was the line at 5.5, we got a 5-point difference, but the over-under was set at 40, and we are at 39. So apparently whoever is working the PX1 Sportsbook has got their stuff together because they are right on target. 1st and 10 from the 29, 2:20 to go here in the 4th quarter as this one is going to come down to the wire. We have had a back-and-forth ball game, and we are going to have some more excitement, undoubtedly, here in the last 2 minutes, 20 seconds of this game. They're going to turn around, hand it off to Rawls, tries to go outside, runs into blockers, and nowhere to go before J.J. Watt and others. Zach Cunningham in there on the tackle, and that's going to take them down to the 2-minute warning. And Houston content to let this one go down without using their timeout, so they'll save one of their timeouts, and then they'll get 3 after the 2-minute warning.
And that's what Seattle has to do. Run the ball. If you're going to pass it, short, manageable passes, easy to complete throws for Russell Wilson. That way you're still keeping the clock moving and not giving Houston more of an opportunity and more time than you need for them to be able to make a play at this championship.
2nd and 9 from the 30. Wilson in the shotgun. Interesting. You know they're going to run it. They hand it off to Pro Sites. Goes up the middle. Zach Cunningham, the AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year, wrestles him down, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. Houston will use their first timeout.
And this is a major 3rd down here. Seattle converts. You have to think that this game is over. If Seattle can't pick up 5 yards, Houston now has probably 1 timeout in the field to go to put 6 on the board. A field goal will not win it for you. You have to get into the end zone.
3rd and 5 in the shotgun again. You got to expect that Houston's bringing them all. Seattle's going to pass. Wilson's back to pass. Got plenty of time. Fires it off the middle, and it's complete to Doug Baldwin, who's down to the 25, inside the 25 for a first down. And that is almost the ball game. Houston's letting the clock run. I don't know why they're not taking a timeout. They've got time to stop it. Take 2 timeouts, and you stop and make them kick a field goal, and you're down 8, but they're letting the clock run. Houston's apparently given up. Seattle goes with the big conversion, takes the shot down the middle, and Houston's waving the white flag. What is going on? They've got plenty of time to use their 2 timeouts. They can't run it out, but Houston's content to let them run. I guess they're going to wait for the next 2 plays, but they are living dangerously here. I guess they're going to save their 2 timeouts for the next 2 plays, but lots of time ticking off the clock. And we got a 1st and 10 here. Wilson going under center. Eddie Lacy in the backfield, and they're going to let this tick down under 5 seconds. 4-3 will get the snap to Lacy. It goes up the middle, and he is wrestled down by J.J. Watt, and there goes the timeout. So different strategy than I would have taken, but Houston says, we got this, don't worry about it. We're going to use our timeouts. Either way, they're going to let the clock run down, so they use them now. They got a 2nd and 9. They'll probably do it here, and then probably hope Seattle goes with the pass again on 3rd down, but I would doubt that here when they're in field goal range.
In Seattle, that play goes one of 2 ways. The way that we saw it unfold, and it makes them look like the geniuses that we will probably claim them to be. The alternative is a sack or an interception, and this is a completely different ball game, but Seattle makes the great call, Wilson with the right read to put this on ice.
2nd and 9 here from the 23, handed off to Lacy. He's got room to go. He fumbles. He fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball, but Seattle was able to jump on top of it, and they get away with one there as Lacy puts the ball on the deck, and Seattle jumps on top of it. So 3rd and 10 coming up, and you got to imagine they're just going to run the ball, take 40 seconds off the clock, kick a field goal, and Houston's going to have 20 seconds to go to try to make something happen. We'll see, but whoa, that was so close to a disaster there for Seattle.
Looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? It's a scene we've seen several times before in the history of the league. They escape with that one.
So 3rd and 10 here as we got Lacy in the backfield again. Luke Wilson comes in motion to the left. And they're going to go on a stretch play, and Lacy's got nowhere to go. He covers up, though. They're fighting for the ball. McKinney was trying to rip it out, but nothing doing. And they're going to get this down to about 15 seconds left before they kick this field goal. So the only thing you can really hope for as the Texans now is either you block the field goal and take it to the house, or you return the kickoff, because otherwise you don't have a whole lot of hope. And Seattle comes out here with 30 seconds to go, lines up for the field goal. You would have thought that they would have stayed in the huddle and just taken a timeout, but they are out there on the field. And we'll see what happens. David, obviously they're not going to do anything here till the end. I mean, am I wrong? They got any other opportunities to win this game at this point?
Houston has got to start getting creative and start diving into their bag of tricks. And Deshaun Watson, I've been proclaiming that he needs to use his legs, and they've kind of wasted any opportunities that they've had.
Sorry to interrupt you, David, but the field goal is good, and that puts Seattle up 25-17 with 16 seconds to go. And Seattle is going to kick it deep to Andre Ellington. They did not block the field goal, so they pretty much only have the kick return and maybe one or two shots at the end zone. And this one is almost over. You see the trophy in the background on the big screen here in Minneapolis. And that one is taken in the end zone. They're going to take it out across the 25. One big hit as he is taken down. Jordan Todman, the former Viking who played in Minnesota, was taken down, nowhere to go. So 13 seconds to go, and they've got really, you kind of got to just throw it deep and hope something happens. If you don't complete it or you don't get out of bounds, the game's over, the clock's going to run out. So you would expect to see Seattle just drop everybody deep and, I don't know, maybe run a screenplay, hope you get some blocking. I don't know. This is a desperate situation for Houston. They ran out of time earlier in the quarter when Seattle had it. Seattle converted that big third down with the pass, and now Houston is in desperation mode. So here we go. Deshaun Watson coming out with an empty backfield. 3 rushing linemen for Seattle. Everybody dropped back. You see 3 guys back at the 40-yard line. Watson got plenty of time. Going to throw it underneath the Lamar Miller. Going to hope he's going to make a move. He spins and nothing doing. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. That's going to do it. The Seattle Seahawks are the winners of Super Bowl 52. Pete Carroll gets his redemption from the loss a few years ago against the Patriots. They win their 2nd Super Bowl title. Hats off to the Houston Texans, who had a great season, but they just could not overcome this Seattle defense, and a gutsy play call by the Seahawks late on that 4th down. Great game, back and forth. Whew, my voice is just barely hanging in there, but David, as I get a drink of water, what are your final thoughts on that one? David is apparently checked out. Oh, he's celebrating, or he turned his mic. I don't know what's going on. As we see the highlights, say, David, are you still with us? Well, okay. I guess I'm not going to get to drink my water. I don't know what happened to David, but all of a sudden he disappeared on us. And maybe he's hearing the audio. David, I don't think the audio's changed. If that's the case and you can't hear me, just start talking. Are you there, David?
Everything is going wrong on this end. The headset has been blown out. The speakers, this crowd has gone. Everything just died in front of me here. I lost sight. I lost vision. Everything just blacked out. I went deaf in my speakers for a second. But Deshaun Watson, his inability to run and use his legs certainly kind of dies off. And Russell Wilson's ability to overcome 3 interceptions certainly adds to this. The Seattle defense comes away with it magnificently, and they look like geniuses every step of the way despite the 3 interceptions. But Russell Wilson, the questions will linger heading into next season.
Yeah, well, hold on. What questions are lingering with Russell Wilson? Just because he had the kind of off game in that one? Or expand upon it. You can't leave us hanging with that one.
I mean, I would say at that point, his decision making, you have to ask questions like that. Is he able to really read a defense? He made a couple of very good throws, read it nicely, but a lot of the time trying to do too much, made the wrong read several times, and that hurt him from that standpoint, led to 3 interceptions. On the other side, Deshaun Watson, he only had the 1 interception. So Deshaun Watson has obviously proven his ability as a quarterback, had the nice touchdown pass. He looks very good, a lot of room to improve. But Russell Wilson, they got to figure something out. 3 interceptions. Now, not entirely his fault, but is it because he's trying to do too much, or is it because he's not reading the defense accurately?
Well, Watson did look like a rookie in that game. He did not look like a rookie all year outside of a couple of games, but did not have the magic that we saw a lot of this season. However, he did play fairly well. Like you said, he in some ways outplayed Russell Wilson. It was kind of surprising. We saw that with Blaine Gabbert in Week 17, who kind of outplayed Russell Wilson in that one, but the Seahawks went on to win. But Russell Wilson had a very rough game. He turned the ball over 3 times on interceptions. Looked almost threw a few more, and finally was able to. Sorry, hold on a second here. Did not expect the broadcast to go out. We thought our guy there running the camera would keep something up on the screen for us, but he didn't. So we'll sign off here in a second. But Russell Wilson, he had a rough game, and they kind of slowed it down a little bit and went back to the short game, kind of got his rhythm a little bit, and then they went that big play. He showed a little bit of clutch there on that big third down. Expected them to run it, take some time off, and then kick the field goal or maybe even punt it back to Houston. They went for the dagger, and they got it, and it wound up winning the game for them. So hats off to Seattle and Russell Wilson on their second Super Bowl championship. It was a great game. We hope you guys all enjoyed it. It was a blast for us to call, and a great season all around. Now we'll look forward and turn our attention to the offseason and the draft featuring real rookies on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. For my play-by-play commentator buddy, I can't even talk. For David Roy, I am your play-by-play host, Mike Peters. We wish you guys a great night and a great weekend. We will see you guys on Discord. We are signing off for tonight. Have a good night.